All right, so we're diving into Maham Suhail's new single, Life's Sweet Song, dropped just the other day on January 31st.
I saw that.
And we've got this really fantastic review from the music website TATANKA.
Yeah.
And, it's calling it a sonic tapestry, which I feel like gets thrown around maybe a little too much.
I think so, too.
But it seems like in this case, it actually fits.
Well, and what makes it work so well in this case is the way Suhail brings together the warmth of those traditional instruments with modern electronic elements. You can hear it in the gentle synth waves that just kind of ebb and flow beneath a really steady rhythm.
I like that.
Like a heartbeat almost.
Okay, so you're saying that it's not even just about like layering instruments on top of each other.
Yeah.
It's about using them to really build a specific feeling or mood.
Yeah.
I'm kind of thinking about how some artists might use like a sitar or alongside like a drum machine.
Yeah.
That sort of familiar but unexpected kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this fusion of styles is something we're seeing more and more in contemporary world music artists like Nitin Sawhney, for example.
Right.
He's really known for weaving Indian classical music with jazz and electronica. So Suhail's sound really fits into that landscape. But what's so interesting here is that the reviewer is highlighting her vocals.
Yeah.
They say that her voice effortlessly moves between softness and strength.
Which makes me wonder, is it just like pure technical skill or is there something more to it?
Yeah.
Because they mention raw emotion, but what does that actually sound like?
Well, I think it's about how her voice embodies the emotional arc of the song.
Oh.
She's channeling those feelings directly to the listener.
So not just reading the lyrics?
No. It's more...
But really inhabiting them?
Yeah. Suhail's vocals really make you believe every word.
And speaking of the lyrics, the review praises their depth.
Yeah.
Pointing to themes of gratitude and reflection and things like that.
Yeah.
Which, we've heard these themes before, but is there something special about Suhail's approach to them?
Well, what's interesting is that the reviewer doesn't say the lyrics are telling a straightforward story.
Okay.
Instead, they're talking about vivid imagery and emotive phrasing. So it suggests that Suhail is inviting the listener to find their own meaning in the song.
Oh, I see.
It's more of a collaborative experience.
And wait.
The music, the words, and your own life all come together.
That's really cool. So the song's meaning isn't fixed.
Yeah.
It changes with each listener.
Yeah.
And then there's this line where the reviewer calls Suhail's music a meditative space. And we hear that a lot these days, but
yeah, you do.
What makes Suhail different?
Well, I think it's a combination of those evocative lyrics and her really unique blend of musical styles.
Okay.
It's not just about relaxation, it's about creating a space for introspection and for really connecting with yourself.
That's more active.
It is.
Okay.
And I think that's something that really resonates with people who are looking for music that's more than just background noise.
So before we get too zen, let's talk about Suhail's background. The article mentions that she was really into poetry and piano from a young age. So there's this obvious deep connection to art there.
Yeah.
But it's really her musical training that stands out. Wire, singing, Eastern classical music.
Wow.
Even Western genres like jazz and blues.
That's amazing.
It's so diverse.
It is. And I think that eclectic background probably contributes to her very distinct sound.
Yeah.
It explains why she's categorized as a world music artist.
Right.
But also manages to defy easy categorization.
Because she's pulling from all these different traditions.
Yeah, exactly.
But then making something new.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, the article mentions some pretty big awards.
Oh, yeah?
The 𝗑◕ᗕ𝗓 Scholarship back in 2017.
Wow.
And then honors from the International Songwriting Competition and the Unsigned Only Music Competition.
Impressive.
And in 2022, she got the Harmonic Heroes Award.
Those are some serious achievements, especially the Harmonic Heroes Award.
Right.
That recognizes her contributions to both music and culture.
Yeah.
These awards really highlight how she's getting recognized more and more on the international music scene.
I see.
Not just as a talented musician, but also as an innovator.
And that innovation comes through when you look at her discography.
Yeah.
Especially her album 𝗵𝗕 and her EP 𝗑ᗕᗕᗓ.
Okay.
What's interesting about 𝗵𝗕 is that it's described as a musical travelogue.
What?
With recordings from Pakistan, India, even Spain.
Wow, a sonic passport.
Yeah. Taking you on this journey through all these different soundscapes.
I love that.
It's a perfect example of how Suhail takes these traditional elements from different cultures and blends them in a way that feels both authentic and new.
It's amazing.
You might hear like flamenco rhythms in one track and then be transported to a Sufi shrine in the next.
Wow.
It's unexpected.
Yeah.
And then there's 𝗧𝗕𝗓𝗓, which showcases her exploration of this 𗗵𗔵 folk fusion.
Interesting. Now, for those who maybe aren't familiar with the style, it's rooted in the mountainous Hunza Valley in Pakistan.
Oh, wow.
Known for this really unique blend of instruments and rhythms. It incorporates a lot of Sufi music and folk tales.
I see.
And Suhail blends these traditional sounds with modern production techniques, creating this sound that's both nostalgic and futuristic.
So are you saying that with 𝗧𝗕𝗓𝗓, Suhail is bridging the gap between
absolutely
ancient storytelling traditions and modern musical sensibilities?
Yeah. And I think it speaks to her larger mission as an artist.
What do you mean?
Using music as a way to connect cultures and create understanding.
So it's more than just entertainment.
It is.
It's about building bridges and having a dialogue.
Exactly.
So for anyone listening who wants to learn more, the article has links to her official website, her Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
Awesome.
You can find it all under her name.
I'll have to check that out.
I think you'll be impressed.
I'm sure I will. It's fascinating how she blends all these influences.
Yeah.
It's not just about taking bits and pieces. It's more like she's weaving them together to make something totally new.
Right.
But still honoring where each tradition comes from.
And that really comes through in Life's Sweet Song.
Yeah.
I mean, the reviewer specifically mentions how it transcends genres and speaks to the heart.
It's amazing how she does that.
Yeah.
With these themes that on the surface seem pretty familiar.
Like what?
Gratitude, reflection, the passing of time.
Right.
But she finds a way to make them fresh.
So how does she do that? What's different about her approach?
I think part of it is her vocals.
Okay.
She has this incredible ability to just pour so much emotion into every word.
Wow.
It's like she's singing right to your soul.
You mentioned earlier about her diverse musical training.
Yes.
The article also points out that she's sung in 8 different languages.
Wow.
How do you think that impacts her music?
Well, it adds this whole other layer of richness and complexity.
In what way?
I mean, think about it. Each language has its own rhythm and tonality and cultural nuances, too.
Right.
Imagine how many different emotions and stories she can express.
It's like unlocking a whole other level of expression.
Exactly.
And speaking of expression, the article mentions that she's curated these live shows.
Yes.
Internationally and collaborated with artists from all over the world.
It's incredible to see her perform live.
Really?
Absolutely. It gives you a window into how she creates and the energy she brings to the stage.
I can imagine.
All those musical traditions coming together in real time.
Yeah.
It's a totally immersive experience.
Wow. So we're talking about the reviewer calling Life's Sweet Song a meditative space.
Yeah.
Do you think that Suhail's focus on blending cultures plays into that feeling at all?
I think there's a definite connection.
Okay.
Think about it. Blending all those cultural elements takes a certain openness.
Right. Yeah.
A willingness to accept things that are unfamiliar.
That makes sense.
And that same openness is what you need to have a meditative mindset.
So it's like you're stepping outside your comfort zone.
Yes.
And letting yourself be immersed in something different.
And in that space of openness and curiosity, that's where you find unexpected beauty.
I like that.
You make connections you wouldn't have made otherwise.
Okay, I love that. So we've been talking about her musical style and influences.
Right.
But the article also talks about her personal journey. The challenges she's faced as a woman in a really male-dominated industry.
She's been very outspoken about needing more representation
Right.
and equality in the music world. She uses her platform to advocate for other women.
That's great.
And marginalized artists.
Yeah.
It's inspiring to see her combine social justice with her art.
It adds a whole other layer to her work.
It does.
Knowing that she's not just making beautiful music.
Right.
But using it to create positive change.
It reminds us that art can be a powerful way to make a statement.
Sure. And to push for change.
Yeah.
And she does it in such a thoughtful and moving way.
I keep thinking back to what you said about MIDI. This musical travelogue that takes you from Pakistan to India to Spain.
It's ambitious.
Yeah.
But she makes it work.
Wow.
Every track on the album tells a story.
Okay.
And those stories create this bigger narrative.
About what?
About connection and displacement and searching for where you belong.
So MIDI is not just an album.
It's more than that.
It's an experience, a journey of self-discovery.
Exactly. And I think that journey speaks to anyone who's ever felt like they don't belong, anyone who's ever tried to find their place in the world.
Right.
It speaks to that universal human need for connection and belonging.
That's powerful. It's really cool to see an artist use their platform like that to talk about things that matter.
It is.
And it makes me think about how her focus on blending cultures kind of challenges how we think about music in general.
Yeah.
Oh, totally. We always want to put music in these neat little boxes.
Like what?
You know, pop rock, classical world music.
Right. But Suhail's work is like...
She's blurring the lines.
Yeah, she's creating her own thing.
Exactly. Her own sonic universe.
And we're seeing that more and more now.
Yeah, we are.
Artists aren't afraid to experiment and mix styles and make something completely new.
It's like the world of music is expanding.
Yeah.
And artists like Suhail are taking advantage of that.
It makes you wonder where music is headed.
Right.
As these lines between genres keep getting blurred.
It's a good question. What does the future of music look like?
Yeah. Maybe we'll see entirely new genres that we can't even imagine yet.
That's possible.
Or maybe it'll become less about labels and more about the experience.
I think so.
The emotions that the music makes you feel.
Yeah, because in the end, music is about connection. It's about tapping into something universal.
That everyone can relate to.
No matter where they come from.
Which brings us back to Life's Sweet Song. And how the reviewer called it a meditative space. Do you think that's why it connects with so many people?
I think it plays a big part.
How so?
Well, think about it. The world is so chaotic.
Right. Always busy and loud.
Exactly. And Suhail's music is like a refuge.
Okay.
A space to just breathe and be present.
A sonic sanctuary.
I like that.
A place to escape the noise and get back in touch with yourself.
And in that quiet space, we can open up to new ideas.
See things in new ways.
Exactly.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Maham Suhail's world, I'm struck by how much there is to explore.
Me too.
From her unique musical style, to her powerful lyrics, to her dedication to social justice.
Right.
She's constantly pushing boundaries.
She is.
Challenging the way things are done.
Definitely.
So we encourage all of you listening to check out her music for yourselves.
Yes, go for it.
Visit her website, her social media, and most importantly,
what's that?
Listen to Life's Sweet Song.
It's a must listen.
Let the music take you on a journey.
See where it leads you.
You might be surprised by what you find.
Absolutely. And who knows, maybe it will inspire you.
To do what?
To create your own sonic tapestry.
That's a great thought.
That's the beauty of music.
Yeah.
It can move us, connect us, inspire us.
Create something beautiful.
Happy listening, everyone.